time to clear the programs. In this interview, I want to compare um, the human being to a computer and a computer program. Recently, I took my computer in for repair, and when I did so, the gentleman said to me that the problem was simple. It was really an overload. He said, "Do you know how many programs you have running in here?" And I said, "No." "What do you mean?" "No, I don't know. I don't know. I turn it on. I use it. I turn it off." So we talked about how many programs I usually use in a day. Probably not many, between 5 and 10 perhaps. And I use those kind of day in and day out. And there were several other programs that were running that I was not in fact using. And so he eliminated them. I said, "No, just take them right out. If I'm not using them, I don't want them. Don't need to keep them around." And so my computer kept shutting off. It would just die. And I thought about, and it actually, he's a real fair guy, a very honest shopkeeper in our neighborhood. And so it didn't cost a lot of money, and it didn't even take a lot of time. And I thought about how I kept needing to, so the computer kept shutting down, I kept needing to reboot it in order for it to be useful, for it to be moving at a speed that was reasonable, so that I could keep moving productively throughout my day. And I just want you to consider for a moment yourself as an organic computer. And simply put, this could be looking at the mind, when you look at the mind, and you think of all the moments throughout your life. You have a brain, you have a mind, and you have memories, you can see that, and it pictures in your mind. And you can bring up memories, pictures in your mind. And they all accumulate, and they are stored within your mind, but within your human physical body as well. And eventually, as you can see, as time goes on, the body wears, until the body wears out. It ages and becomes decrepit and dies. Sometimes this happens to people at a much earlier age, and one of the ways that we see this is mental illness. And so I have found a solution to this to help me clean out, delete a lot of this old programming that I am not using, or that is useless or destructive, that it is no longer serving a purpose that is the best for all in how I interact with others and the effect I have in my little world here and on the world at large as I participate in the world. And so I am suggesting there is an introductory course called DIP Lite that you can take, in which I'll include the link. And what it does is, first of all, helps you get started being comfortable with writing. And the reason to write is to look at yourself in 2D and to see yourself on paper and be able to connect some dots. It's a very simple course. You're offered buddy support. And it can, if you choose, lead to another course in which I'm taking called Destiny I Process. So the introductory course is Destiny I Process Lite, and which goes into more detail about this programming, the programming of the mind, how you have in fact programmed yourself through your participation in your mind, being the conscious, unconscious, subconscious. And it is freedom, cleaning out the mind and the physical mind, which would be in the body. It is simple but not easy. It takes dedication. But you're gifting life to yourself. So it is a important process to clean yourself out and really, find the key to unlock the chains of the past. You actually exist and live in the past. So do I. It's a process. It takes time. So that you're free. I mean, that would be freedom, right? To be able to clear out all this old crap that is overly causing harm. And as you do that, you're still here. You still know who you are, what you are, and what your life is. But you become lighter. You become cleaner inside and out. So please investigate. Thank you.